Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your AEW Dynamite review show for Wednesday, February 9th. Tonight on the show, Jay White and Keith Lee make their AEW debuts. CM Punk teams up with Jon Moxley, and the Texas Death Match between Lance Archer and Hangman Page. Let's get Johnny North in here. Let's get the show started. Oh, boy. I'm excited to talk about this one. This was quite a show, quite an episode of Dynamite tonight, John. I don't know about you, but I was entertained. A lot of action, a lot of things happening. One of the best episodes of Dynamite that I've seen in quite some time. This was very good. Really good stuff from AEW. Keith Lee in the company, Jay White making an appearance. I'm excited to see what the Switchblade is going to do. We can talk about him. Of course, CM Punk with the unlikely tag team partner of Jon Moxley. Didn't see that one coming. They had a hell of a match with FTR. And then the main event, a bloodbath. They had garbage cans. They had chairs. They had tables. They had kendo sticks. They had a fork. I mean, they threw out everything. And, of course, the ring steps. Who could forget the ring steps in that match? Good God almighty. And we even had JR on the call. So I really can't find anything wrong with this show. I'm sure there will be a couple things wrong with this show that Johnny will... Thank you, Patrick. Johnny will definitely point out some things wrong with this show. But let's talk about the positives first, John. The main event. Let's talk about that main event. I thought, everybody's resubscribing. Doug, Patrick, thank you guys. Don't forget to become a member. Don't forget to sign up and become a member. Angelo Contagonis, longtime member, legend of the team. He's in the chat tonight. Anthony Plesia, member. He says, out of all the newbies that showed up tonight, Jay White is the one I'm most excited about. Barbed wire, of course, Angelo pointing out. I missed a weapon. Lots of weapons tonight. Hard to name them all, right, Johnny? Overall impressions of the main event. We'll get to the rest of the show. Shout out to Brian Firth. What's up, Brian? I liked the Hangman Archer match. It was a little wild. There were some things that I would have changed, but overall, I thought it was just crazy as far as matches like that. You know, a car crash type of match where you're going to go out and do everything and use all the weapons and do big bumps on everything. This was all that and then some. For a match like this, this style wrestling match, this was damn near perfect. Pretty excellent.
Well, I felt this was a statement match for not just Archer, but also Hangman. Archer for the fact that it's like, he's just getting the world title match. It's 3 weeks and then won't be in for the pay-per-view more than likely. So I think this is just him to show that, hey, like I can be, I don't know what doll this is. Is this Cody Rhodes or something? Or?
Of course it's Cody Rhodes. I don't want to interrupt you, but...
This is a revolution. I am the American Nightmare.
Can you hear that? He talks.
Yeah, I could hear it.
Try harder. Ugh.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. I just wanted to bring my buddy Cody up here. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
You hit him and he says try harder. Wow. That's something.
We'll never survive the coffin drop. I'm relentless. I'll never stop. Oh no!
It's your boy, Darby. I can keep going, John.
Very,
you want me to keep going with this? How
Very, very weird comments by Darby on that one.
I am Luchasaurus. You think you got what it takes to step in the ring with a dinosaur?
You can tell a lot of them don't have good catchphrases.
No, they don't have good catchphrases at all. Terrible catchphrases. I could keep going with this, John. I mean...
take on the cleaner? Do you think you got what take on the cleaner? You can't escape.
All right, I'm done. This is,
That was kind of disappointing for Kenny. I thought Kenny could do better than that.
that's all he's got.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. It's only 4 in the set, John, so I would keep going, but I can't. These are the only guys we have.
Well, I'm surprised they have that many, to be honest. So,
They all talk.
It's kind of impressive for them, yeah. It's impressive they have it. I mean, it's not the 4 wrestlers I would have gone with, because as you could tell, not the greatest catchphrases. Cody was probably the best one, I think.
Yeah, Cody's the best one. You got to go with Cody and Kenny. I'm not sure why they went with Luchasaurus.
I can get why Darby. It's just, yeah, he didn't have much to say, really.
No. It's cool looking, though. Yeah, I liked the match, John. I thought it was really good. Talk to me about Hangman and Lance Archer. I interrupted you with the toys. I got you a little confused.
Well, it's just, this was more of a statement match for Archer and Hangman. Said Archer because he's not probably going to get a title shot again. He's not probably going to be in the main event scene for a bit, so he had to kind of showcase himself here. This is his shot. He's got to show that he can have a great match. People are going to remember it.
Yeah.
I can't believe people are going to forget about this for a while. And for Hangman, this has kind of not been a great title reign so far, so he's got to have great title matches, and I guess you could say this kind of adds to that short resume so far.
Has it been a bad title reign? He's had some pretty great matches. The matches with Bryan were excellent, but I think you are right, though, as far as Hangman needing this match to show what he can do. So that he could show, I don't need Bryan to carry me to a great match. I can have a great match with Lance Archer, too, which, Lance Archer's a great wrestler. I'm not taking anything away from him, but, Bryan's kind of looked at as the guy that can carry anybody to a classic, and then Hangman comes out here and has a match with Lance Archer that's better than most Lance Archer matches. I mean, Lance Archer has had some great Texas Death matches. He's been really good in AEW. Every time he steps out there, he really seems to up his game, and this was a world title match, and he came to play. This was no joke for Lance Archer, but this was a big statement match. I think you're right for Hangman Page. I don't know if this has been a bad title reign for him. We just wanted it to end. I just wanted Bryan to take the belt from him. I don't really think
that doesn't sound good.
Well, I don't think he's had a bad run. I just like Bryan more than him. That's just personal preference.
If you would have lost to Bryan, it would have been a bad run, regardless of how you look at it. It would have been bad. You defend it once, you get a draw, and then you would have lost it. That would have been bad.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been great, but he didn't. He won, right? So why are you saying that why do you think that this is a bad title run for Hangman? Like you said,
he's only had 2 matches.
Well, it's been, because he just won the belt.
Right.
I don't know.
And you thought he was going to lose right away. He didn't even win his first title defense.
Yeah, he wasn't presented as a big-time player. He wasn't presented as a main eventer. And I'm not sure he is now, even. He was in the main event, but he wrestled Lance Archer. Lance Archer is not, CM Punk or Jon Moxley or Kenny Omega, right? He did beat Kenny to win the belt. He beat Bryan to defend the belt. But the Lance Archer match is a step down as far as where Archer's been booked. But still a fantastic match.
But, yeah, but that's it. If you have a match where it really stands out, I don't think it even matters who you face as long as you can get the people into it and they remember it. That will still, I think, help tremendously when people look back on this. They'll be like, the fact that he went to war pretty much, and it looked like he was actually going to lose a couple of times there. It really just shows you wow, Hangman, he'll battle through things. You can get behind this guy regardless. It seemed like he was out. After taking that shot on the steps, it looked like he wasn't going to get up.
That shot on the steps was crazy. The blackout that Archer hit off the apron onto the stairs that he set up on the side, it just looked horrible. Horrible. The steel kind of buckled there. The landing, the bump was disgusting. It was terrible. It looked so bad. And, it was definitely the most impressive thing they did, but should you do that? It's supposed to be a work, right? You're not supposed to really get hurt. That seems like something that would hurt you for real. I mean, if Hangman survived, all right, but I don't know. Chances of survival on that are like 50-50. I mean, that's probably hurt him, or it's going to cause long-term damage. Like, that's not something you walk away from scot-free.
No, yeah, he definitely got hurt on that. You could tell his hand, too. He's favoring his hand a little bit. I think he landed awkwardly on that. There's no doubt he got hurt on that one, but the whole idea of this was just to surprise people. Like, you didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think they were going to happen. Usually these kind of moves, it's like, oh, it's counter or whatever. Like, you never really actually see the move.
Yeah.
Nope, we actually got to see the move. So,
yeah,
you know, that was impressive. They pulled that off.
Yeah, you're right. When he went up for it, I was like, nah. Right? And then he hit it. I was like,
Right.
what the I, like...
He's got 2 minutes to the show to end.
Alone. People are in bed in my house, right? I'm alone in the living room, right? I wasn't loud. I didn't do anything. It's fine. But I was watching that, and I'm quiet during the match. I'm not saying anything, right? But when Hangman hit on the chair, I was like, oh, like I made sounds because it was horrible. Did you emote, John? Did you make a sound when Hangman did that? Well, I mean, I was like, oh my God.
It made more of a face, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you got to react to that. It was crazy. It was crazy. I mean, it gets a reaction. It gets the reaction you want, especially from guys like us who've seen everything wrestling can offer, right? I've never seen that. But, yeah. Do you want to do stuff like that? You know, I mean, I guess when you're the world champion, you're in the main event. It's your first title. You're trying to impress. But you want to have a second and third and fourth title reign too, right? I don't know. It was a lot. Like, on the one hand, I love it. But on the other hand, I'm like, oh, Hangman, should you do that? Should you do that? That was rough. It's cool, though.
I'll agree with it, though. I think it was, this is the right idea where it's like, you talk about third, fourth title reign. I mean, you never know what can happen. Maybe you won't get that title reign. So you got to make the most of the opportunity that you have right now.
Yep. Spoken like a true wrestler. I'm wearing your shirt tonight, Johnny.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Hell yeah. Wish we had more of these. Man, what a match. A couple things I didn't love about it. When Archer got tossed through the glass in the tunnel. What was that glass?
That was during the commercial break. I missed it.
No, that was at the beginning of the match.
Oh, it was Archer, not Hangman. So Hangman got busted. I was like, where did he get busted? It was during the break.
Yeah, I don't know how he got busted either. It was in the picture-in-picture. I didn't notice. But at the beginning, when Archer gets tossed through the glass, right?
Oh, yeah.
In the tunnel. What was that glass there for?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just there. But for whatever reason, it was just there.
Like, it didn't really make sense. Like, it wasn't for anybody's entrance. It was in an entrance tunnel. It was just like a pane of glass. It was like, well, what's that there for? And then Archer goes through it. And then, of course, when he comes back through the glass, he's bleeding right on his forehead, only on his forehead. It just seemed
he had maybe a cut on his arm, to be honest, though.
No, I think that was later on, but that was Hangman's blood on him.
Ah.
When he came out through the glass, he was only cut on his forehead. I was looking for other cuts, and there weren't any. But you can't blade, like, your arm, right? So I get it. He didn't cut himself on
he could have.
Yeah, he could have, I guess, but, I mean, it's a lot to do while you're in the tunnel. You start slicing your head, slicing your arm, you know? So obviously he sliced himself in the head there. But it's just like when you go through a thing of glass, you would think that the one spot where you'd be bleeding wouldn't be the kind of conventional spot that all wrestlers bleed from. It's just at a certain point when you see everybody bleeding from their forehead and only their forehead, you start to wonder, how come they don't bleed from other places on their body sometimes?
Well, it kind of does make sense, though, because that's the most fragile spot, because he always blades there, right? So you would think it's kind of weak, and especially if you went head first into it. That kind of makes sense. But, yeah, he should have been bleeding in other places as well, but
yeah.
Oh, well.
John, I think we have a call from a member. We have a member call.
Wow.
Yeah, you want to take a call?
Cool. Let's do it.
Who do we have? I think we have... Is that Angelo? Angelo. Is that you? Who's that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, shit. It's Angelo. Hey, Johnny, you hear him?
Well,
I can hear him.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Angelo? How you doing, man?
well, What's going on, guys?
Oh, yeah, we're taking calls now. Look at this. Angelo, the first call. You could call, too, if you're a member like Angelo is. Angelo is a serious member of the team. If you're a member like Angelo, you could give us a call. Become a member. Join. Go to join.ringsidereport.net. Angelo, what did you think of Dynamite tonight, man?
Excellent. My favorite match had to be the last one, I think.
Yeah. Wow, okay. You were telling me on Twitter earlier during the night that you thought FTR against Punk and Moxley would be match of the night, and I thought so as well, but I responded to you. I said, hey, Angelo, this match could get crazy. Like, I agree with you. I think that tag match was match of the night until the main event. What do you think, John? Was the main event the match of the night?
I mean, it's tough. Like, I probably would have gone with the tag match too, but the tag match, they did kind of screw up the ending a bit there. Looked a little sloppy. And, like, this hardcore match, that's what it was. It was just a fight, just straight up bloodbath. I mean, it's not a wrestling match, but it delivered what it was supposed to deliver, so you can't go wrong with that. And given the reaction, like, it was probably the most over thing, I think, on the show.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I think the tag match was fantastic, but after seeing Hangman hit those stairs, it's hard not to give them match of the night. Angelo, what did you think of the stair spot with hitting the blackout on the stairs? Was that too much? Is that, you think Hangman can do that, more than once in his career?
I don't know, man. That would have been pretty hard to get up from after that kind of damage.
He got up, though.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Angelo.
And they were and they were saying how they don't think that he was able to get up from that.
Yeah. He got up pretty quick, too. He didn't sell it for as long as I would have liked. Like a thing like that, you'd think you'd be down for a little while. Did the ref even start the 10 count? Also, the finish where they're doing the 10 counts, and that's how you win. You have to get up by the count of 10. I didn't notice that being implemented at any point during the match other than the finish. Like, when Hangman got hit with the blackout on the stairs, did anybody notice the ref start counting to 10?
Well, there was a problem because Archer picked him up.
Oh.
So it negated the whole referee. Referee was going to do it, and then he stopped doing it because Archer picked him up. So that screwed it up.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that at all. Well, I thought the match was pretty damn good. Pretty damn good main event. Angelo, who are you more excited to see in AEW, Keith Lee or Jay White?
I gotta go with Keith Lee.
Yeah?
Immediate impact right away.
Yeah. He looked good tonight, too. Looked huge.
He looked awesome today.
Yeah. I like Keith Lee. I think Jay White's going to do some interesting stuff. And is Adam Cole Hangman's next challenge? Are you in for that? Adam Cole versus Hangman? Adam Cole came out at the end of the match, put the title on Hangman's shoulder. That seems to be where they're going next, right? Is that what you want to see, Angelo? Adam Cole versus Hangman? I'm not sure.
I'd be down for it if it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be all right, but I don't think it'd be as good as Archer versus Hangman was tonight. I think match quality-wise, it'll be a step down from what we've seen during Hangman's title reign so far.
Yeah.
Right?
I would agree with you.
That's the thing. So I don't know about Adam Cole right now, but it seems like they're trying to go in that direction. A lot of people are calling for the AEW World Championship. Adam Cole, MJF. MJF makes sense. MJF is so hot right now, I wouldn't be surprised if he does take the AEW title, if he's next, if he beats Hangman. He could be the guy. Angelo, who do you want to see as the next AEW World Champ before we let you go, brother?
Could be anybody, to be honest. I'd like to see Paige hold on to the title for a little longer.
Yeah. But you don't have a preference as to who's next? I mean, Bryan Danielson, right? Bryan Danielson, I think, is your pick.
Obviously.
That's got to be the pick, right?
I would love to see that happen again.
Of course. Johnny North wants it to be Randy Orton somehow. He wants Randy to come in and,
That's not happening.
I don't think so.
I know that's not going to happen.
I don't think so. Angelo, thanks for calling. Thanks for calling, man. You're the first caller tonight. Thank you, buddy. There he is, Angelo, giving us a call.
That was
cool.
great.
That's cool, John. Look at that. If you're a member, you can give us a call and you can give us your thoughts on AEW. Kept it going with Angelo. Wanted to hear what he had to say about different things going on in the company at the promotion. Solid Dynamite tonight. But yeah, I love the match there. A lot of weapons, but I think the match needed it. I mean, all the weapons. I liked even Dan Lambert coming in and not cutting a promo tonight, just taking the top rope down so that Hangman couldn't use it to do the buckshot lariat. Took away his finishing move. I thought that was a smart thing in this match. Archer smacking Hangman in the head with a garbage lid. Really lit him up with that garbage lid. Just smacked him several times. Hangman and Archer fought through the crowd. Hangman hit a nice moonsault off the barricade. Jake the Snake even got involved. He clotheslined Hangman at one point, and the crowd was going, DDT, DDT. And Jake went for the DDT, but Archer stopped him. Didn't want him to do it for some reason. Said, no, this is my match or whatever. And then Hangman turns around and he hits Archer with the DDT. Why'd Archer stop Jake the Snake? Because he's like, don't take my shine type of thing, I guess.
Yeah, I think it was something like that, where it's like, I don't need you to do this for me kind of thing.
Yeah. Hangman smacking Archer with the kendo stick. The choke slam that Archer did on Hangman through the garbage can. Good God, they get a lot of air for that choke slam. Really nice choke slam. Yeah. Helps. And Archer's super tall. The guy's like, what? At least 6'6", maybe taller.
I was gonna say like 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah, he's a big dude. Of course, Archer stabbed Hangman in the head with a fork, then licked the blood. That was something. Tribute to Abdullah the Butcher there. I don't know if you want to do that, but hey, that's what he's doing, licking the blood. You like that, John?
I mean, I'm not a fan of that, but I mean, if that's what he wants to do, go ahead.
I didn't love it.
I don't think it's a good visual to showcase to people, but I mean, if he wants to do it, fine.
Yeah, I didn't love it. It was a little like, gross. Don't do that right now. It's a pandemic. You shouldn't be licking blood. Archer tosses a bunch of chairs in the ring. This was weird, the chair stuff. It seemed like at one point a chair that he flung hit Hangman, who was selling on the ground. Did you notice that? Did Hangman get hit?
Yeah, it looked like it. Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, it looked like it.
And then Archer, like, after throwing a bunch of chairs in the ring for no particular reason, he grabs another chair that's wrapped in barbed wire. Then he decides to bail on that to set up the ring steps, and then he hits the blackout. Like, why did he do all that shit with the chairs if he didn't pay it off, really, at all?
Well, because he had to bring out the barbed wire because they needed the barbed wire for the ending spot, right?
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? Like, if I'm fighting you and I'm like, I'm going to get a bunch of chairs, you would think I'd have a plan for these chairs, and I wouldn't just bail on the chairs and be like, no, actually, stairs. Unless he came up with a better idea or whatever in the moment. But it was a little weird with all the chairs that weren't used. Whatever. Hangman wrapped his arm in the barbed wire, punched Archer, flipped over the ref to do the buckshot lariat, off the apron, through two tables, and that was the finish. Hangman gets to his feet before the count of 10 to win. Impactful finish. Really impressive stuff. Buckshot lariat. It was weird the way he flipped off the ref. I don't think he got any extra momentum by doing that. If anything, it slows him down.
No, but it's the whole idea of him rolling into the clothesline. That was just the whole idea of it.
Yeah. Anyways, it was cool the way they went through the tables on it. It was just high impact. The whole match was just, they were hitting each other hard. It was good. Big slams, big moves. Hangman retains the AEW World Championship. Adam Cole came out after the match. Hangman looked dead. Hangman looked beat to shit after that match. Like, when Cole came out, I was like, oh, please don't attack Hangman. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. And he did. He just put the title on his shoulder and was like, yeah, you're the champ. And I was like, oh, good. I almost wonder if Cole was supposed to attack him, but Hangman was so beat up, he's just like, let's not. I don't know.
Well, again, though, like and you've already kind of said in a sense, where if there's going to be Cole, it kind of feels like a step down in a sense because they haven't built Cole to be like a top world title contender yet. Like, yes, he wants the title shot, but who has he really beat? Like, no one really of note. I mean, he's coming off a loss when you really think about it. For a big match, he lost his last big match, and now he's going to go for the world title. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like this felt like the pay-per-view match right here. And I don't know how you top this really for the pay-per-view.
Ooh, I hope it's not Cole. I hope it's not Cole for the pay-per-view. I think that's weak. Brian Firth dropping a super chat says, I thought the FTR versus Punk Moxley was overbooked.
The finish was, yeah.
You think so?
The finish got too sloppy. They overdid it.
What do you mean?
When they brought in Tully,
Yeah.
they went too far with that.
With the jacket, when Tully came in and started smacking Punk with the jacket, and then he took a really sloppy GTS.
Then Punk had to no sell for a second, then get rolled up.
Yeah.
The things just look kind of awkward.
I don't like the simultaneous finish for a match. Moxley just so happens to hit his paradigm shift on one while CM Punk hits his GTS on the other. I'm not a huge fan of that. Other than that, I thought the match was really good, though.
I actually don't mind the double finishing because they tried it before. It didn't work.
Yeah.
They tried it again. So I don't mind because it didn't feel like it just happened like that.
I mean,
they actually tried it.
If it were real, you would never, ever, ever, ever be able to pull that off. It's just
right.
Let's hit synchronized moves. No, that's not how fighting works. Sorry, I don't like that. I do like a Doomsday Device though, and I like that Moxley was Punk's tag team partner. I thought it was cool. I didn't know who Punk was going to choose for this match with the super weird stipulation, but I like that it was Moxley. I thought they made a cool team. And the match with FTR was solid. He may have had a couple issues at the finish, but overall, right? Pretty damn good. If not for the main event, this would be match of the night.
Oh, without question. I thought the storytelling was very good. There was a lot of good build-up. The moves in between. Everything was solid, really. When I got to the end, it felt like it was a little too much they were doing. Overbooked is a great way to say it.
Yeah.
But still a good match. I mean, I'm not going to say this was bad by any sense of the imagination.
Yep. Thank you, Brian Firth, for the super chat. You are the super chat leader tonight. I like that CM Punk John Moxley versus FTR match. I thought it was solid. Punk, because he wins that match, now gets a rematch with MJF at some point. Not next week, right? Probably at the pay-per-view. Yeah.
March 6th.
Yeah. Probably at that pay-per-view on March 6th, which I won't be watching live because I'll be at a WWE house show. So no post-show for that one,
works
guys.
Out again.
Yeah, it's weird. No post-show for that one, guys. I'll be at the WWE house show watching Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks versus Charlotte and Shayna and Roman versus Drew, whatever. But Ronda and Sasha in a tag team match? Oh, yeah, playa. CM Punk gets this match after the opening promo. I like that they did that. We saw CM Punk twice. We saw him in a promo, and then we saw him in a match. Solid stuff. Wardlow comes to the ring with cardboard cutouts of MJF beating CM Punk from last week. FTR come out with Tully, Sean Spears, and then finally MJF. He gets carried to the ring on this fancy chair on a podium thing. What do you call that thing? We've seen other wrestlers get carried to the ring on those things, right? Who's the last wrestler in WWE used to get carried on that all the time? Was it Wade Barrett?
Well, didn't Jerry Lawler used to get carried out? But that was
yeah.
A very long time ago.
Yeah. Anyways, he's carried out on one of those platforms with a chair on it. And, if you watch enough wrestling, you know what I'm talking about. And then there's like men carrying the thing, and then there's two ladies leading the way. And then MJF makes out with one of the ladies quite a bit before getting into the ring. What was
That's
that?
his girlfriend.
Was that his girlfriend, or are you just guessing?
No, because like I've seen it before in his videos that you've seen her in the background. She's the one filming all his videos when he's working out in the gym.
Okay. I don't watch
Yeah.
MJF's workout videos. So he makes out with his girlfriend quite a bit. Does that add anything? Do you need to see that?
It just makes him seem like he's cool. That's it.
I don't know if that makes you seem like you're cool. Makes you seem like an exhibitionist. I don't know. It was a bit much. It's not that cool.
Some people think it's cool.
Yeah, maybe you think it's cool. I don't know. I think it's weird. MJF says he's the best wrestler in the world and not Bryan Danielson or Hangman or Adam Cole. He beat CM Punk twice in Chicago. The crowd chants, "Shut the fuck up." MJF says it was bittersweet, though, because he beat somebody that he looked up to when he was a kid. And then he thanks Sean Spears, not Wardlow, for helping him beat Punk. MJF says it's time he becomes the world champion. And then CM Punk comes out with Tony Schiavone, and he has come with his friends because he's learned from his mistakes before he gets beat up 5-on-1. And he's got Darby Allin and Sting with baseball bats. And he says, "Give me a rematch or we're going to come down there and beat you all up." And Punk says he doesn't want a rematch with MJF. He wants it with Wardlow. Right? He said that. But then the match got turned into Punk MJF. I didn't understand what the hell he was saying.
No, well, I think he meant it in the sense that that's the guy who really beat me. But that's not what really happened. Like he lost MJF, not to his bodyguard.
Yeah, I don't know. At first he was like, "I want a match with Wardlow." I'm like, "You do? What?" And then MJF is like, "Okay, you can do a tag team match tonight against FTR with a tag team partner of your choice, and if you win, you get a rematch." And then MJF is like, "But it can't be Sting or Darby Allin." And you're like, "What? What?" They did that so they could have Moxley come out as his surprise partner, but it was just weird that, like, all of a sudden Punk's got all these friends. He's beat up 5-on-1 a bunch of times. Now this week he comes out, and Sting and Darby and Moxley, they all want to hang out with him. I don't know. It was a strange stipulation to make. It wasn't usual. It was like, you have to wrestle FTR, and if you beat them in a tag team match, you get a rematch with me, but you can't have, as your tag team partner, those two guys that are currently on the stage with you. It was weird. But
Well, didn't they originally want it to be a rematch of the 6-man tag? Wasn't that the original idea?
I guess. A lot of ideas were being thrown about in this promo until we finally got to the thing. That's why I'm not even sure.
Right.
Punk, I guess, has to wrestle MJF now. Because MJF was backstage watching the match, Punk and Moxley versus FTR, and he seemed quite upset when Punk won. So I guess he's going to have to wrestle Punk again at the pay-per-view, where Punk will get his revenge. All
You
right.
think? Wait and see.
Yeah. Makes sense. Andrade backstage with Sting and Darby Allin. Andrade at one point, he's like addressing Sting, but he like stops before saying his name. I think because when Andrade says Sting, it sounds like stink, so he just doesn't say it. Stink.
It does.
Right?
It does sound like stink.
So he doesn't say stink. And Darby, like when Andrade doesn't say Sting's name, Darby just starts laughing. I don't know if he's supposed to be laughing there or is just, corpsing and we need to send for the man. I don't know what's going on there, but anyways.
I don't know.
Did you notice Darby laughing? He thinks Darby works for Sting, and Sting is like, "Look, Darby isn't my son. He doesn't work for me. You need to talk to Darby if you want him to be on your team and work for you." And Darby's like, "I got bigger things to do than work for you because I'm going to be the next TNT champion." And then Andrade is like, "Oh, well, I'm going to be the next TNT champion, so how about that?" Okay. I guess we figured out why these guys are.
Matches coming up.
Yeah, Darby and Andrade. These promos have been awful, though. This promo sucked. It was weird.
Well, Andrade versus Sammy should be pretty good too if it happens.
Why do all these promos take place in a staircase?
This wasn't a staircase. This was just like behind like a brick wall or something.
Oh, was it? I thought this was a staircase promo. I don't know. Andrade and Darby will have some good matches. But, yeah. The winner will face Sammy Guevara at some point. Why is Darby so obsessed with becoming TNT champion? Hasn't he done that already? He doesn't want to be the world champion? It's his problem.
Why? It's just something he's done before, wants to do it again kind of thing. You know, Sammy's already a 2-time champ. Cody's a 3-time champ. He's got to catch up.
Okay. Doesn't seem like something Darby would be worried about. TNT title records, but I don't know. What do you think, Darby?
You want a shot at the champ?
He said, you want a shot at the champ.
There you go.
I'll never stop. Oh no!
It's good. You lay
Grunts
him,
are always weird.
you lay him flat.
Hey, you pin him. Wow. You got to keep Zev away from that. He'll do it all day.
Nah, he's done it. He's played around with it. He's all right. All right. Wardlow came out. He wrestled the Blade for some reason. Wardlow is a babyface, but he does heelish things and hangs out with heels. And the Blade is a heel. The Blade lost after 4 power bombs and some stuff. Sean Spears hit the Blade with a chair after the match for some reason, even though Spears and Blade are both heels. Although I guess Blade is just irrelevant, so it doesn't really matter what he is. But
Pretty much.
why was this happening?
Well, it's a slow build. And he's going to slowly, turn face. It's just a slow build towards that.
Yeah. Felt like filler, though. It was a dead part of the show, right? Not great.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but I get what they're doing with this.
And then there was a weird Pentagon promo with like a graveyard digging up a mask in a graveyard, and Alex Abrahante is saying, Penta says, da-da-da-da-da, and they want revenge on Malachi Black for something. Didn't they already have their match?
Pentagon.
Sprayed him in the eyes again? Yeah, whatever. This sucks.
The mist changes you.
It's terrible. Can we get past this already? The Pentagon, Pac, Malachi Black, bullshit.
Well, no.
This
Now we're
promo
getting
was
Pentagon Dark.
this was terrible.
Well, Pentagon's going to have a brand new look now. From what it
Is
looks
he?
like. He's got a new mask. Like you see that he pulled out a new mask?
I didn't
the end of the
notice.
promo?
It looked pretty much like the old mask.
Well, now he's going to be Pentagon Dark, and I guess he's going to have like a new kind of attitude, I guess.
All right. I don't know. The Inner Circle had their meeting. Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Jake Hager came to the ring. Jericho started talking, and then Santana and Ortiz's music interrupted. And Santana and Ortiz come to the ring. Harold dropping a super chat says, missed your call, Angelo. Looking forward to other members calling in. I don't have enough to say. Well, if you come up with something, Harold, you can give us a call. As long as you're a member, like Harold is, like Angelo is, you can go to join.ringsidereport.net and sign up, and you could call in and give us your thoughts on AEW Dynamite or whatever is on your mind pro wrestling. We're here every Monday after Raw, Wednesday after Dynamite, Thursday for the MMA show. We'll be previewing the big UFC pay-per-view, UFC 271, Whitaker versus Adasanya 2. We'll be previewing that tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and then back again, Smackdown. After Smackdown on Friday night, Wrestling Uncensored, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, a big weekend. We'll be back for UFC 271, the watch-along Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern with AJ and Freddie. So a big week on Ringside Report Network, and we'll be taking your calls for any of those shows if you are a member. You want to give us your thoughts on any one of those topics, any one of those shows, you can call in and say what's up. Maybe even on the watch-along, just call in and yell at AJ. That's always fun. So Jericho, Sammy, and Hager come to the ring. Santana and Ortiz show up. Jericho says he was embarrassed when they didn't tag him in that 6-man tag a couple weeks ago, and they robbed the fans who paid to see Chris Jericho, which got some boos. Santana says Jericho only cares about himself, and the whole point of the group is to advance Jericho's career. Santana says that Jericho always took their spotlight, but the fans kept them going. So I guess Santana's the babyface here. And he says if it wasn't for Ortiz, he would have dropped Jericho's ass a long time ago. And then Jericho says Santana reminds him of Eddie Guerrero, and he wonders what Eddie Kingston has ever done for them in AEW, you know, considering he's got no stroke in the company. And Jericho wonders if he asked the wrong members of LAX to join them, and asks Hager if Homicide and Hernandez if he's got their phone number. Which upsets Santana. He grabs Jericho. Sammy tells them to stop. They're all a big family. And then Jericho tells Sammy to shut up. And then Sammy doesn't like that. And he says he wants to be the best champion in wrestling history. And this bickering won't help. So he quits unless they can figure things out. So Sammy quits Inner Circle. And Ortiz wants a match. Santana and Ortiz versus Jake Hager and Chris Jericho booked for next week. I mean, this wasn't terrible. I expected it to be worse. They got to the point. They said what they needed. Santana spoke for a little too long. It was a little longer than it needed to be, but they advanced the story. You know, Sammy Guevara's out of the Inner Circle. We're doing Hager and Jericho versus Santana and Ortiz. Like, the battle lines have been drawn here in the Inner Circle. We know what's happening. The breakup is imminent, and it looks like Hager's just going to stay on as Jericho's backup. And that's fine. I didn't hate this because we got something accomplished. We got a match booked for next week. Santana and Ortiz versus Jericho and Hager once and for all. Let's get it going. I mean, this probably won't be the end of the story, but at least we're advancing the story instead of, like, Santana and Ortiz just giving Jericho dirty looks and kind of saying things like, come on, Jericho. You know, like, this at least was a stand. Like, we're pissed. We want to beat you up, Jericho. We're sick of you, and we're done with you. They got there, you know? And we'll see what they do next week.
Well, I think it's great that they progress the story, considering Eddie Kingston, who's, I think that's the match you're really looking towards the pay-per-view, the end of the story. It's Jericho Kingston, I think. And the fact that you haven't had him for a couple weeks because of his injury, the fact that you can keep anything going and make it interesting, I think that's a bit of a success in my opinion. Like, the fact that they've made it still good, still like something you want to watch, something to look forward to too with this tag match. More than likely, I think Eddie will probably come back next week.
Yeah, and be involved in the match some way. And that's fine. We advanced the story. It's not a story I'm super interested in, but at least they made some progress. So that's something. Rocky Romero and Trent interviewed in the parking lot about their match against the Young Bucks on Rampage this Friday. The Bucks and Adam Cole show up and beat them up. And then Jay White shows up, and the Bucks kind of stop. And Jay White shows up and tosses Trent into the truck. And then he looks at Matt Jackson, and he says, "Nice earring," and he walks away. So Switchblade Jay White, former New Japan Pro Wrestling IWGP Heavyweight Champion, still a New Japan Pro Wrestler. I think this is just a trade-off deal. Jay White in AEW. Who knows what he's going to do, but apparently skip to later on in the show with another Young Bucks Adam Cole backstage segment. They take on Roppongi Vice on Rampage. They talk about that, and then Matt Jackson asks Adam Cole why he invited Jay White to the show but didn't tell him about it, and Cole says, look, we took an oath when you're Bullet Club for life. So this is a Bullet Club thing, and of course Trent and Rocky Romero are in Chaos, which is a rival group to Bullet Club in New Japan. So there is a tie-in there that does make sense. And, of course, Adam Cole and the Bucks were in the Bullet Club at one point in New Japan. And Jay White, right now, I think would be seen as the leader of that group. I think Jay White's the leader of the Bullet Club still. The Switchblade. He's the top guy in that group right now. So, this is interesting. I don't know where they're going to go here. But I would hope for a Jay White match on the pay-per-view. I don't know what they do with Jay White, but he is an excellent wrestler. Really a top talent, and a just great heel. One of the best heels in the business. If they make him a heel, I think that would be really good. He may be a babyface at first. I don't know how that's going to work, but he is fantastic. Give me Jay White, Bryan Danielson at Revolution. Just for the hell of it.
Well, I'm thinking he's a heel if he's with the Bucks and Cole, no?
Yeah, I guess so. But, like, the Bucks don't seem too happy that he's around. He's a heel in the sense of, like, I don't know. They were kind of acting that way with Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, and those guys are heels too, right? It's weird. Mm-hmm. It's weird.
I think if he has a match, it's probably against someone like Moxley, I think. Someone who's a tie-in right there.
Yeah. But I guess maybe Jay White works a match with the Bucks or with Cole at the pay-per-view. Some sort of thing with them against, you know, like Trent and Chuck and Orange or something. That's what they'll probably do.
I guess. That's not great, but I guess they could do that. It
yeah,
just
I
seems
don't
like
know.
they've already done that.
Yeah, White and Moxley would be fun. Angelo says, who's Jay White? I mean, if you don't watch New Japan, you don't really know. Brian First says, it's cool seeing Jay White all over the place like Impact and now AEW. I agree. I love seeing Jay White bouncing around. Of course, with the pandemic, it's tough for him to get to Japan, so he's making the best of it. Thank you, Brian, for dropping a super chat. Brian is the super chat leader tonight. Also asked a question on super chat. Brian Firth, out in Saskatchewan, says, what was the bloodiest match you have seen on AEW? Tonight's Hangman, what do you call it match was pretty bloody. I recall one of those Kenny Moxley matches being pretty bloody, right?
Mm-hmm. I remember Dustin bleeding quite a bit in his match with Cody. Like, the ring was just covered almost in blood, it felt like.
Yeah. The tag team match we saw recently with the Ty Conti and the Bunny bleeding, that was a lot of blood.
Yeah, but I think tonight was more blood, though.
I think maybe the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker Lights Out match was the bloodiest match we've seen in AEW. Just the blood on Britt in that match was crazy.
Yep. But again, I feel like it was more one-sided there. Thunder bled, but it wasn't that much.
Yeah. Bryan and Hangman bled a ton in their last match.
They did, yeah.
Right? A lot of blood. I don't know. Some of those Cody matches, too, he bleeds like a motherfucker, right? So
well, I'm just trying to think, like, usually Cody bleeds or Dustin bleeds. Doesn't mean their opponent always bleeds, so that's the thing. Again, one-sided.
Yeah. Cody and Dustin bled quite a bit when they wrestled.
Oh, yeah. Especially that match itself, like, and that's one of the first matches in AEW, so
yeah,
that was a great way to start it. A lot of blood.
Yeah, that might be it. Moxley and Kenny. It's tough to say the bloodiest match. I mean, we're not measuring the pints of blood to see exactly how much blood is spilled. But for me, just that bloody image, I think also because they turned it into a T-shirt and an action figure, the Britt Baker blood was quite something. There's a Britt Baker like action figure with just like a bloody head. It's Lights Out Britt Baker, you know, and they made a T-shirt of it. I mean, that was a moment when Britt Baker was bleeding in that match, right? That was something else.
Oh, yeah. Without question. There's definitely been a lot of moments. You look back, there's probably more matches we're not thinking about where there was blood. I felt like there was blood almost every second or third week in AEW for a period of time.
Yeah. I tell you who will never bleed in AEW unless it's by accident. Jade Cargill. She doesn't need it. It'll never happen.
Yeah,
she
but
will
accidents happen, though.
Yeah, but she will never blade. Never, ever. She's not doing that.
She doesn't have to. But, I mean, I could see her get cut because Mistakes happen, like they did tonight in that match.
What was that match exactly? Jade Cargill beating AQA. AQA, a Booker T student, and that's really all we know about her. AQA. I kept hearing écureuil, which is squirrel in French. Right? They kept saying AQA, AQA. I'm like, is her name écureuil? Is she a squirrel? AQA.
It sounds better.
Yeah. Aqua, maybe her name is. Do I remember the Big Show? Yeah, I remember the Big Show. I love the Big Show. AQA, Jade Cargill looking like the Big Show tonight. She's not bumping too much, you know? It takes a lot to take her off her feet.
Doesn't have to.
I like that. I know, but I like that. She's bumping less. She's playing big. She's looking good. Couple nice power moves. That one move where she kind of lifted her up on one arm and then flexed. That was fantastic. And the gorilla press, too. My God, Jade Cargill is powerful. But the match wasn't great. At one point, AQA was on the apron. Or not the apron, sorry. The turnbuckle, the top buckle. And you could hear...
she fell.
I didn't notice that. She fell?
Oh, yeah, she fell once. Yeah, you noticed that part?
No. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, she fell, and you could tell, there's people were booing.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's not very good. I was not impressed with her tonight. Jade looked
she's
good.
a student. I don't know why they put her on Dynamite. This was a bad idea.
I'm not watching her. I'm watching Jade. But you could hear the ref clearly say, push her off, catch the crossbody. And then they did.
I didn't hear that.
They did it right away. I was like, oh, man. That's going to be on Botchamania. The ref is right there. Push her off, catch the crossbody. He said it twice. You could hear it. It was so loud. So loud. That's not good. And then she pushed her off. Caught the crossbody. Jade hit her finisher for the win. I like Jade, as you know. I mean, this match was not great. AQA, what the hell was the point of it? Why was she on this show? I agree. She should not have been on this TV show. This was strange. And if she is going to be on this show, the match should have been a lot shorter. Somebody's heckling you on the chat, John.
Some people don't like me. Oh, well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Too bad. But, with Jade, I feel like she's not experienced enough to have these kind of matches. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, it's not her fault. Why did they put her in here with somebody who's, less experienced than she is? And if they are going to put her in there with somebody like that, make it short. Why is Serena Deeb wrestling for a minute and Jade Cargill's wrestling for 7? That doesn't make sense.
No, you're 100% right. I don't know why they had this. It was one of my complaints about Dynamite when I tweeted. It was why we have 2 enhancement matches back-to-back for the women?
Yeah.
There couldn't be one competitive match?
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
It's ridiculous.
And it's heels, too. It's heels just being dominant. It didn't make sense.
She wasn't dominant enough on this AQA. This match took way too long. She should have squashed this girl. She should have squashed her. What the hell? What the hell? Serena Deeb's beating David Arquette in 1 minute.
David?
Courtney Cox Arquette? Somebody Arquette.
I didn't catch the name, but that's interesting.
Rosanna Arquette. Her name was Arquette. Her last name was Arquette, like David Arquette.
Right.
Former WCW World Champion. Serena Deeb beat her in 1 minute with a half crab. Serena cut a promo on the way to the ring that was longer than her match. She says no one can hang with her. No one can last 5 minutes with her. She's issuing the Professor's Rookie 5-minute challenge. The Professor's Rookie 5-minute challenge. So I guess this will be a thing now. Whatever. I mean, it was short. At least it didn't take up a lot of time. But again, when you have Serena in there who can wrestle, who could, carry some newcomers to some matches, and you have her in there for 60 seconds, whereas Jade, who's only had a handful of matches, 27-0, I think, she's wrestling, écureuil. I mean, what the hell is that?
Well, I felt with the Serena thing, they can make someone off that though. It's kind of like, remember when Kurt Angle had that challenge where he just faced random people? That was to build up someone out of nowhere, where they'd actually do something with Kurt Angle. So I think this is what they're trying with Serena. They can just have someone surprise her out of nowhere, and boom, right away you have someone who's a star.
Like a 1-2-3 kid type of deal?
Yeah, that's a bit more advanced, I think, because this is what, the 5-minute challenge, right?
Yeah.
You pretty much just have to survive, kind of thing. That's it.
Yeah. It'd be better if somebody beat her in under 5 minutes, though. That'd really put somebody over.
That'd be better, but I don't know if that's really going to happen because you got to slowly build into it.
Comes out, cuts a promo, challenge, whatever, da-da-da. Tony Storm.
Yeah, but it's got to be a rookie.
Tony Storm comes out. She's like, I'm a rookie in AEW. It's my first match. Beats her in 3 minutes.
Yes. That's kind of a setup, I find.
I don't know. Good way to debut somebody.
Yeah, but she doesn't need that, though. I mean, she could do something more than that.
Yeah.
But this, you could take a rookie, like absolute nobody, and make him into something just off one match.
What the hell are they waiting for with Tony Storm? How come, is her 90-day not up yet? Like,
yeah, it's not up yet. It's like in March.
They need her in that
or
division.
End of February?
They got to sign Tony Storm. To me, she is the one that AEW needs more than any of the other people that they're signing. Not that I am not happy with Keith Lee. I thought Keith Lee was fantastic, looked great tonight. Beats Isaiah Cassidy with a big slam to qualify for the Face of the Revolution ladder match. Private Party tried attacking Keith Lee after the match, but he's like, nope. Mark Quinn did this big dive. Lee just caught him out of midair, powerbombed him. Good God almighty. Keith Lee looked like a monster tonight. Keith Lee looked more impressive tonight than I've ever seen him before in his whole WWE run. Just the size, the presentation, the intensity. He looked like he was having fun out there. It's like a different version of Keith Lee. I like this version.
Well, to me, this felt more like the NXT, like Keith Lee, like in terms of the wrestling gear and everything, and in terms of the excitement for him. Like, I didn't feel the Raw announcers ever really got excited to the level like you saw AEW got excited. And of course, the fan interaction helps a lot too. But it just seemed like all that, it just seemed to help make him into a star, plus what he can do in the ring. You add that all together, and then right away you have an instant star.
Yeah, you reminded me of NXT Keith Lee. Those matches with Donovan Dijakovic, fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, he had a good run.
Yeah. That Dijakovic is very good. Old T-Bar, he's still there, hanging around.
See, gimmicks can kill people.
Yeah, well, he's still got a job in WWE, so a lot of guys got released, right? Old T-Bar's still there. Kept T-Bar. He's a talented
got
dude.
Released, right?
Who?
I said Bearcat got released, right?
Yeah, well, big Bearcat, Keith Lee. That Bearcat gimmick did not last long, thankfully. Keith Lee got released. I think he wanted out. And now he beats Isaiah Cassidy, and he's going to be in a ladder match at the pay-per-view. Not really a match designed for Keith Lee to win, but you never know. Big guy like that, I don't know. But he looked huge. Is he bigger, or does he just look big because he's in AEW?
Why, I really think it's just because AEW, really. I mean, maybe put on a bit of weight, but I mean, he seemed to be that big too in NXT as well.
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. In WWE, you don't look as big as you do in AEW, right? Jon Moxley looked kind of normal to even smallish at times in WWE. In AEW, he's one of the biggest guys, right? Lance Archer in WWE, what?
I wouldn't say now. Like, he's lost a bit of weight since he came back. Like,
Super chat. I don't know.
He's kind of all right.
He looked quite a bit bigger than the FTRs.
Really?
Those guys,
I really didn't see that.
Are those guys 6 feet tall?
Yeah, they're not tall, but I wouldn't say, like, I don't have any, like, meat on them. Like, Moxley seems very skinny.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, he doesn't look that small in WWE. The only guy who, like everybody, like Rusev, looks way big in AEW. Even Andrade
Well, he's
and
in better shape.
Malachi Black, like they just look bigger because the guys in general are smaller, right? They don't have to stand next to Randy Orton or freaking Omos or something, right? Like they got smaller guys in general in AEW. So the WWE guys tend to look bigger when they come over. The only guy who doesn't look bigger is Adam Cole. Somehow he's like smaller now. I think he's just shrinking. I don't know what's going on with him.
Well, you got to think about it too in terms of like training. Like it's harder with the WWE schedule. You're always on the road pretty much all the time. So it's harder to train.
Mm-hmm.
Where AEW, it's a bit more of a relaxed schedule.
So what's Adam Cole's deal? Is he hurt? Can he not like work out?
Well, to me, Adam Cole was always small. I don't know about you. Like he
Yeah,
was small in NXT too.
He was in better shape at one point.
Was he? I thought he was always like this, just always like very small and like it's hard to believe in him whatsoever. But he's a good wrestler. I thought that was his main thing.
Yeah, he's okay. Patrick C. Hamilton dropping a super chat. He says, "Stop watching AEW. Maybe it's time to start again." 777 from Patrick. Thank you, Patrick. I think it is time to start watching AEW. It's fun. This is a good show tonight. Very good, and hopefully they're on the right track. Somebody, I like the guy that was heckling Johnny North was saying that you're like a bad co-host, which I disagree with. I think you're great, John. Johnny North is a pro wrestler. Johnny North is super jacked. Johnny North has forgotten more about pro wrestling than you will ever know, and that's why Johnny is here, because Johnny is an expert in professional wrestling. He's a goddamn encyclopedia, and not only does he know everything about wrestling, he's also in the ring. He also knows how to wrestle, and he is one of my favorite pro wrestlers, so I'm always happy to see John. But I like the comment that says, "Up the energy, bro is high as fuck." I love that this guy thinks that you're baked, because
Okay.
yeah, I mean, if there's one guy who's baked on this show, I'll tell you, it's not John. As Randy Orton says, "You think I'm the only guy who bakes around here?" Fucking Randy botched that line so bad on Raw. But yeah, John
Like it still works, that line.
John is like straight edge, and I am not.
Yeah.
I knew how many grams were in an ounce. No, it doesn't work, because Riddle's like, "How did you know how many grams were in an ounce, Randy?" And Randy's like, "You think I'm the only guy who bakes around here?" He meant to say, "You think you're the only guy who bakes around here," but he messed it up. And he knew he messed it up. You could tell on his face he messed it up. And John, of course, being the Randy Orton super fan, you're going to try and tell me a reason why it still works? Why does it still work? He missed the joke. He's supposed to say...
That's fine. It's Randy, though.
Yeah, because Randy's so high he can't even do his own line. He's botching the line. He sounded like he was a bit high when he was saying that. He's like, "Do you think I'm the only one who bakes around here?" Damn, no, wait, that's not the... shit. Live. Damn it. You know? It's like...
It would have been funny if he would have said that.
That would have been great if he just totally was like, fuck, I messed that one up, you know? Then he would have saved it, but he didn't, because he doesn't have comedic timing. And he's with Riddle, and it's awful. I think we've covered everything on Dynamite tonight. Keith Lee, AQA's debut. I mean, everybody's excited about the debut of AQA. But really, Keith Lee
Well, I don't think she'll last long.
No, I hope we don't ever see her again. No offense, but, maybe in another 5 years. Said she's 25 years old. Give her another 5 years. Give her another 5.
Well, she's Booker T's student, right? So more likely this was just to get her experience. She's probably going to be in WWE development until a couple of years.
WWE developmental? All right.
Yeah, I'm sure that's where Booker T wants to put all his students, right?
Oh, shucky ducky. Booker T. All right. Chris Jericho and Jake Hager versus Santana and Ortiz set for Dynamite next week. Also, it'll be Mercedes Martinez versus Thunder Rosa in a no DQ match. Do we have to?
Well, we need another hardcore match, right? Because you had a hardcore match this week, so we need another one next week.
Do we need one every week?
No, we don't need one every week, but that's what we're getting.
We had one last week too, right? Didn't Cody do a ladder match or something? Was that last week?
Oh, I feel like it was a couple weeks ago now.
Okay. Do we have a hardcore match last week?
I don't think we did.
Okay. Well, we're getting one this week and next week, so there you go. Coming up on Rampage on Friday, it'll be Rocky Romero and Trent, Azúcar Rock and Trent versus Roppongi Vice, by the way, is their tag team name. They take on the Young Bucks. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen the Bucks wrestle a tag team match.
Well, they were supposed to do this match a month ago, right? But
Right.
Romero got
The Rona.
COVID.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Bryan Danielson will speak on Rampage. They're advertising that. I like that.
Okay.
I mean, finally, we're going to see him again. We haven't seen him basically since he lost to Hangman. A couple times he's standing in the aisle looking at Moxley. He did
last week.
He did a promo last week. That's true. It's just I didn't see him tonight, so it's a little, you know. He did the promo with Moxley last week. You think Moxley takes him up on the offer, or they just wrestle at the pay-per-view?
Like, he could still take him up on the offer, but maybe wrestle him first, possibly.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just want to see a faction. I think the faction, skip the match. Britt Baker will wrestle Robin Renegade on Rampage. Who's that? Is she the daughter of the Renegade from WCW?
I don't think so.
Did you know?
But
you know Raquel Gonzalez in NXT?
what about her?
You know who her stepfather is?
No.
Giant Gonzalez.
Huh.
That's a shoot.
Small world.
That's real. I had no idea. She's Giant Gonzalez's daughter. That's why her last name is Gonzalez.
Wow.
I had no... My brother
good.
told me this the other day, and I'm like, bullshit. And he looked it up, and it was true. I was like, what? He's like, oh, she's his stepdaughter. I was like, no shit. Giant Gonzalez raised her.
The name works for once. Wow.
Well, yeah. But how come she's not wearing the furry bodysuit?
No, she looks better the way she is. It's fine.
I don't know. I think they should put her in the furry bodysuit. I think that'll be good. I heard a story about Giant Gonzalez on Jerry Briscoe and JBL's podcast, which is, apart from our podcast, my favorite wrestling podcast out there. I listen to all of them, the Jerichos, everybody, sometimes even the Cornette. But I think Jerry Briscoe and JBL is my favorite. When they interview just old-timey wrestlers and talk about old-timey wrestling, they told a story about Giant Gonzalez. They're like driving down the road in Canada or something, somewhere in Canada, and they wanted to send Giant Gonzalez out into the woods because he's like 8 feet tall, right? And they wanted to have him kind of run out in his bodysuit at a car and see what people would do because it would look like Bigfoot, But then they decided not to do that because somebody might shoot him. Because really, if you saw an 8-foot Giant Gonzalez running at you from the woods in that furry bodysuit, what the hell would you think? If you didn't know who he was, if you didn't know he was a wrestler, you'd be like, what the fuck? Right? That scared the shit out of you. Anyways, that's a good story. I forget who told it. JBL. No, it was Downtown Bruno, because they interviewed him. Harvey Whippleman, Downtown Bruno. He was on the show, told some great old wrestling stories.
Well, he was his manager.
Yeah, well, that's it. He was traveling with him. He was his manager. And he loved him. He said he was a great guy. Did not like Vader, but definitely liked Giant Gonzalez, who is Raquel Gonzalez from NXT's stepfather, which is awesome. Just found that out, and I loved it. And I love Giant Gonzalez, and I love Downtown Bruno, and I love that JBL and Jerry Briscoe podcast. I cannot tell you enough about how much I love that thing. Have you ever listened to that one?
No.
It's the best.
It's just hard listening to Ric Flair's one.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Ric Flair, wow, yeah, he just says whatever he wants. That's what makes it good.
He clearly hates Becky Lynch, too. Ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Hates her. Yeah.
Mickey doesn't like him back, too.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm at a point now where pretty much the past 30, 35 years in pro wrestling, I know everything that's happened, right? Like,
It's pretty good.
you know what I mean? I mean, the players, the names, the places, the faces, you know what I'm saying? You do too. Don't kid yourself. Past 30 years in wrestling, you know pretty much everything. I mean, sure, there's stuff you don't know. If there's a specific date and time of something, you might not be able to name the right thing, but you know who the main eventers were. You know who was important, right? But
For the most part. Yeah, I guess.
so 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, you know that shit, right? But before like 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, I'm not so well versed, so that's where I'm trying to go. I'm trying to know that era of wrestling as well as I know my era, which is 80s, 90s, and beyond. I'm trying to get
Wow.
the 70s and the 60s and the 50s down to figure out who everybody was and the order of things. You know, like I know Ric Flair and Harley Race and Dusty Rhodes and, there's the Luthez and the Strangler Lewis and all these guys, but the timeline of everything I'm a little iffy on. So I'm trying to get, a little bit more into that. I was watching all sorts of stuff. You should see what I was watching. I have some footage that I cannot even tell you where I got it, but it's old Lutte Internationale from Montreal. I was watching Gino Brito Jr. wrestle. I was watching
That's cool.
Dr. D, David Schultz wrestle. I was watching all sorts of guys wrestle. And, I've got some very exclusive footage you can't find anywhere. I was watching that, popped it into my DVD player. Got my Xbox 360 working again just to watch this DVD. And it was some cool stuff. So I'm really going deep on the history, John, just so you know. And that JBL and Briscoe show is perfect for that. Listen to old Memphis stories from Jimmy Hart. Great stories from downtown Bruno. I mean, great stuff. Great stuff about Rocky Johnson and young Dwayne Johnson. Fantastic. The Ass Boys, Billy Gunn's sons, will take on the Jurassic Express for the AEW Tag Team titles on Rampage on Friday. And again, furthering my point that they have turned the AEW Tag Team Championship into the jobber division with this Jurassic Express bullshit. Just jobbers challenging for these belts. Jobbers that won't win the belts because it would be an abomination for the Ass Boys to be the new AEW Tag Team Champions. Just like it would have been a joke for Private Party or even Silver and Reynolds. And again, failure, Tony Khan. Failure to put Johnny Hungy on the show tonight. You fucked up again. Where's Johnny Hungy? What the fuck?
Well, to be fair, where was Cody?
I mean, who cares? Where's Hungy? I don't watch Being the Elite for Cody. He's not even on that show. If I wanted to watch Cody, I'd watch Sammy Guevara's stupid blog. But I don't watch that. I watch Being the Elite. And I don't watch it for the Bucks. I don't watch it for anybody but Johnny Hungy and the rest of his friends in the Dark Order. I watch it for Uno and Grayson and Hungy. And I didn't see any of those motherfuckers on the show tonight. So you fucked up, Tony Khan. I would rather see Johnny Hungy than, Wardlow, for instance. Just saying. I would. I really would. Angelo Contagonis dropping a super chat. He says, thanks for the opportunity to call in tonight. I enjoyed it. Great show, guys. Thank you, Angelo. Thank you, Angelo. Dropping the super chat. Appreciate you. Brian Firth, you are our super chat leader tonight. Thank you, Brian. Dropping a big super chat tonight. Looking to buy some merch from the store. He's trying to buy all sorts of shirts from the store, and our team is working with Brian to get him that merch. So, Brian, the team will work with you and figure that out. But the show's wrapping up, so I don't know if you'll be able to continue this conversation in the chat. Maybe you will. I think with the production team should be able to help you out. But I think we're good. I don't know. I think we're good. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. I don't know. There's a lot going on. Like, I'm talking to you about wrestling and stuff, and then I'm seeing Brian Firth asking for merch, and then the production staff is helping him out to... I don't know what's going on. Like, should I wrap up the show, or do you guys have a conversation going? You know what I mean? I feel like there's another conversation happening while we're doing the show, and if I end the show now, I'll interrupt it. But I'm done, so I think I'm going to end the show. Okay.
Well, if you don't get a message, I guess you can end it, right?
Can I end the show? Somebody tell me if I can end the show. I want the team to let me know. In the chat, let me know if I can end the show. Say, you can end the show now. Or send me a text. Apparently, we're only set up for calls on the wrestling shows, but we could set it up for MMA too. Yeah, why not? Let's do that. Lauren says we can't end the show. Fuck. Well, somebody give me a super chat to keep me on, God damn it. You got to pay me to keep me on at this point when I'm done. End the show. Okay, wait. I've been told to end the show. End the show! The team says end the show, so I end the show. When they tell me to end the show, I end the goddamn show. I've got Lego to build. I bought a Batmobile, and I'm going to go do that, okay? I'm going to go build a Lego and play and watch Snowfall. Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm going to do.
Snowfall, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Fred recommended it. It's a show about, cocaine selling in Los Angeles. It's all right. Fred told me to stick with it because it gets better, so hopefully it gets better. I'm like in the first season, and it's okay, but I don't love it. But I'm watching it. I'm sticking with it because Fred told me to. I just listen to whatever Fred tells me to do, basically. Fred would love hearing this, but he never will. So, there it is. All right, well, thank you, everybody. All right, Brian wants a Supreme Wrestling shirt, iPhone 12, and Adidas backpack. Yeah, see, Brian knows that it's a Supreme Wrestling style shirt. Brian gets it. Brian gets it. I want that Supreme Wrestling shirt, too. I don't know why I don't have one. I should be rocking that shirt here. That is a dope shirt that I designed. I'm glad you're getting it, Brian. That is a dope Supreme Wrestling shirt. All right. Hope you get your merch, Brian. Thank you for supporting the Ringside Report Network. You are the Super Chat leader of the night. We appreciate you, Brian Firth, out in Saskatchewan. Hope everything is doing well for you, my man. Give us a call sometimes, Brian. It would be great to talk to you. Great to talk to Angelo Contagonis tonight. Thank you for supporting the network. Thank you for calling tonight. Great to talk to Angelo. Be great to hear from more of you, more of the members like Angelo, like Brian, like Harold Schneider. Thank you, Harold. Thank you, Anthony Plessia, for joining us as well. Join.ringsidereport.net is where you want to go. Click that join button beneath me if you're watching on a computer. Click the join button if you have not joined to become a member of the Ringside Report Network YouTube channel. And I will be back here tomorrow night for the UFC 271 preview show. We will be previewing Adesanya versus Whitaker tomorrow night. Get our picks. I really am still not sure. I'm not sure about that main event. You would think Adesanya, but I don't know. I feel like Whitaker maybe is going to do it here. Adesanya is beatable. Jan Blachowicz showed that he's beatable. There's a way to beat him. Can Whitaker do it? You know, Adesanya knocked him out in the first round last time. First round, maybe second round. Knocked him out early. I don't know if he does it again this time. I don't know. I might be leaning towards Whitaker. All right. Well, we'll talk about it tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Get my official prediction. Brian Firth, you go ahead. You purchase the gear. You go to merch.ringsidereport.net. I think the production team will give you the thumbs up. I don't know what's going on there. But hopefully everything's good. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the team. And I'll be back here tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Ringside Report MMA. And then Johnny and I will be back on Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for Wrestling Uncensored.